25 most amazing ancient ruins around the world. The various ruins found around the world help us connect the dots between the present and the past and understand the ancient cultures. Civilizations have left beautiful monuments and structures throughout the world, attesting to their former splendor. These mystical sculptures, sacred religious sites, regal palaces, castles, ancient hubs of commerce, ports, and graves, which have appeared in literature, songs, and films, are all that remain of some of history's most distinguished cultures. So let's have a look at our top 25 most amazing ancient ruins around the world. Number 25. Ayutthaya. Can you imagine that Ayutthaya, Thailand's historic city, was founded in 1350? It wasn't long until this bustling trading harbor was transformed into Thailand's historical capital. It kept this status for 4 centuries until Burmese invaders burned it down. Only about 50 stone relics and temples were saved from the fire and are still visible today. Number 24. Sigiriya. Sigiriya is a spectacular location with ruins winding up to and atop a massive rock in the middle of the jungle. The formations of this historic rock stronghold date back to 475 BC. That's stunning enough, but its 600-meter-high natural stone column on which it stands that actually looks incredible. Number 23. Hampi. After Beijing, Hampi was India's second-largest medieval metropolis, and it was also one of the wealthiest. It was formerly the vibrant heart of the Karnataka Empire, with temples and imperial palaces, but today only crumbling rubble remains. The House of Victory, which functioned as the royal family's personal place of worship, and the main temple with its carvings of strange-looking sea creatures are among the highlights. Number 22. Ephesus. Ephesus was once the most significant Greco-Roman city in the eastern Mediterranean, and one of the best preserved ancient ruins in the world. Located near present-day Selçuk in Izmir province, the Goths largely demolished the temple, which was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, in 268 AD. The site tells the narrative of Artemis's cult's great commercial port and sacred hamlet. Number 21. Ellora Caves. During the 6th to 10th century, over 3 dozen caves and temples were carved out of cliff sides. Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain cultures were represented in the basalt rock-cut buildings. The caves are 50 kilometers from the Ajanta Caves, which are more well-known. You might choose to go during the Ellora Festival and classical dance and music, which takes place every year. Number 20. Stonehenge. Stonehenge, one of the world's most famous prehistoric monuments, was built between 3000 and 1500 BCE. The unique building is made up of 2 types of stone, the larger being sarsen and the smaller being blue stone. It was previously a burying place, according to archaeological excavations. The magical presence of the amazing prehistoric monument is especially stirring at sunrise and dusk. Number 19. Mesa Verde. Mesa Verde National Park, with its amazing collection of 600 ancient clifftop houses, is located deep in the American Southwest. At an elevation of 8,500 feet, these numerous ancestral Pueblo Indian homes feature hundreds of cliff dwellings, the relics of a civilization that lived here for about 900 years. The daily ranger-assisted tour of the Cliff Palace, which has 150 rooms and 23 kivas, as well as more in-depth tour of the Longhouse, are not to be missed. Number 18. Masada. Masada, an ancient fortification, is one of the world's most spectacular ruins. Masada, a historical citadel in the Judean desert, may appear to be a barren, sandy plateau, but it was once Herod the Great's palace, and the location of the Jewish revolt against the first Roman invasion. The military encampment and battlements are the best preserved Roman siege fortifications in the world today. 2 paths lead to the top, and while the climb is difficult in the hot sun, the views are well worth it. Number 17. Pompeii. One of Italy's most fascinating sites is the ancient city of Pompeii. Pompeii was once a bustling Roman city that was destroyed in 79 CE when Mount Vesuvius erupted nearby. While the cloud of smoke from this horrific event buried everything in its path, including 2,000 lives, it also ironically saved the city. Pompeii was forgotten for centuries, hidden beneath a layer of ash and lapilli. It was properly excavated in 1748, however, exposing a treasure of intact art, artifacts, and buildings, all of which may still be viewed today. Number 16. Tulum. Tulum is another pre-Columbian Mayan site, and it's thought to be one of Maya's last cities. The most notable buildings in the well-preserved Wallet City are El Castillo, the Temple of the Descending God, and the Temple of the Frescoes. Apart from the El Castillo Pyramid, you can see a stunning mural inside the Temple of Frescoes and swim at Tulum's secret beach, which is flanked by palm trees and sunbathing iguanas. Number 15. Chichen Itza. The Pyramid of Kukulkan in Chichen Itza is such a spectacular piece of architecture and astronomy that the sun casts shadows that slither like snakes and seem to descend its stairways on the spring and autumn equinoxes. Thousands of people attend the ancient site today because of the phenomenon, yet a nearly identical light show can be viewed the day before with only a quarter of the tourists. Number 14. Acropolis. The Acropolis, capped by the Parthenon, can be viewed from any corner of Athens from its position above the city. The Acropolis Museum, which houses many of the original antiques, is well worth a visit. The Parthenon is best visited early in the morning or late at night because it's exposed to the sun. This is also the least crowded time. Number 13. Tikal. The stunning remnants of this Mayan site, which has been inhabited for 1,500 years, are surrounded by vegetation. At its peak, the ancient capital city may have had a population of 90,000 people. Its most notable characteristics are nearly 24 huge temples in the shape of stepped pyramids, some of which are among the world's tallest pre-Columbian buildings. Number 12. Karnak. The Karnak Temple Complex in Luxor, Egypt, is awe-inspiring in its scale. It is sprinkled with temples, sanctuaries, obelisks, and shrines, and covers an area larger than most ancient towns. It took nearly 2,000 years to construct, and each Egyptian pharaoh left his mark on the monument. While you're here, take a look at the sacred lake and the granite scarab that surrounds it. It is said that 7 times around it will bring you good luck and love. Number 11. Bagan. Bagan is a historical city in Myanmar's Malanday region. Bagan had about 10,000 Buddhist temples, shrines, and pagodas at its peak. While the number of these gleaming gold temples has decreased throughout the millennium, over 2,000 of them exist today, making Bagan one of the continent's must-see wonders. While the Bagan archaeological zone can be explored on foot, the sheer number of temples is best experienced from the air. Number 10. Terracotta Warriors. The Terracotta Warriors are an army that was never discovered for 2,200 years. Emperor Qin commissioned slaves and artisans to create a memorial to him, which would be buried with him on the day he died. Everyone who worked on the warriors or knew anything about them was slain or forced to commit suicide. The warriors were not discovered until 1974 by a local farmer due to their concealment. It's an intriguing sight, and seeing the 8,000 warriors lined up in rows is rather impressive. Number 9. Borobudur. Indonesia's largest island is home to the spectacular Borobudur Temple. Each ascending level signifies a stage of enlightenment, and it takes the shape of a stepped pyramid. The Buddhist sutras are depicted in beautifully carved bas-reliefs near the bottom. On the highest terraces, Buddhist statues are housed within bell-shaped stupas. Borobudur illustrates the fusion of Indian art styles with ancient Indonesian terraced sanctuaries, as well as the interplay of Hinduism and Buddhism. Number 8. Teotihuacan. Teotihuacan, northeast of Mexico City, is home to Mesoamerica's most impressive pre-Columbian pyramids. The city is pre-Aztec, but the Aztecs titled it City of Gods because they believed the gods created the world there. The city is thought to have been built between 100 BC and 250 AD. The Avenue of the Dead runs through the site, linking the Sun and Moon pyramids. Number 7. Petra. This amazing metropolis was sculpted into the sandstone cliffs between the Red Sea and the Dead Sea by the ancient Nabateans. Petra remained forgotten until 1812, when it was found by Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, and only 15% of the site has been excavated. Today, we can visit 800 tombs, beautiful temples, churches, and Petra's most famous structure, the Treasury. Number 6. Angkor. Angkor Wat, the world's biggest religious monument, is the best preserved and most spectacular of the Khmer temples that comprise the Angkor Temple Complex. The 5 conical towers of the temple, which face west, are positioned to form a massive lotus bud. The birth of the world, a king's audience, and epic wars from Hindu mythology are among the most spectacular bas-reliefs. Number 5. Moai statues. The monolithic human figures carved by the Rapa Nui people perplex archaeologists in the same way that Stonehenge does, but it's unclear how they were transported and erected on the stone platform where they have stood for centuries. They were put atop family burial grounds, where their mana, power, was transmitted to the living family chief. No one knows how or why they were overturned, but thanks to 20th century archaeologists, they are still standing today. Number 4. Colosseum. The Colosseum was an old gladiator arena and is one of the most famous Roman monuments. The 50,000-seat amphitheater, which was completed in 80 AD, was used to stage a variety of events. The entire metropolis is encrusted with ancient ruins. You can be sipping an espresso in a cafe 1 minute and then strolling past a piece of architecture that is thousands of years old the next. It's a mix of modern style and historical tradition. Number 3. The Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China was built in 220 BC and stretches over 20,000 kilometers from Shanghuan in Hubei province to Jiahuan in Gansu province. From space, the Great Wall of China is the only man-made structure visible. Visitors can observe the watchtowers and ramparts that Chinese soldiers used as a vantage point centuries ago. Walking the full length of the Great Wall of China would take around 18 months for anybody who wanted to try it. Number 2. Machu Picchu. Hiram Bingham, a Yale University historian, uncovered the lost city of the Incas in 1911. Machu Picchu was not the most important Inca landmark, but it's the most well-known today because it was left untouched during the Spanish conquest of South America. It was erected in the 1400s as the Incan Emperor Pachuti's estate. You'll be rewarded with stunning vistas of the entire complex as you climb to the summit. Number 1. The Pyramids of Giza. 3 massive pyramids in the desert south of Cairo bear witness to ancient Egypt's pharaoh's heritage. The Great Pyramid of Giza, also known as the Pyramid of Khufu, is the greatest and oldest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The Great Sphinx guards the entrance to the complex, which comprises lesser pyramids and tombs for the dynasty's female members, as well as graves for their relatives and courtiers. Don't forget to take a kissing photo with the Sphinx. It's pretty much compulsory. Which ruins fascinate you the most? Do you try to feel the soul of the civilizations when you visit one? Let us know in the comments section. Subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this.